Sometimes it can be hard to get yourself off to sleep as you lie there for such a long time, wondering how much longer you'll be awake. But it can be much easier when you're slightly distracted from your troubles so that you can gently fall asleep. So make yourself comfortable while I talk about a really nice holiday to help you doze off. One of the times I found it very easy to sleep was when I was staying in a hotel with my balcony door open to keep me cool. At night time, I could hear people talking down below on the ground level. I could just about hear them in the distance, chatting away about all kinds of things, which helped me to relax and go off to sleep in no time. A couple of years ago, I went on holiday with a few others, and I remember sitting on a bench at the top of a beach and watching some people play beach volleyball. There were a few people either side of the net, a mixture of men and women on either side, and they looked like they were very much enjoying the game, with nobody taking it too seriously. I think sometimes certain sports are more enjoyable that way, just having some fun with everyone enjoying themselves without being too competitive. It can be great fun joining in with those kinds of activities, but sometimes it can be just as enjoyable to sit back and watch others having fun, just like I did that day. On the same holiday, we also visited an aquarium. Part of the aquarium had a semicircular glass ceiling, so it was like a well-lit tunnel that you could walk through, whilst being able to see many kinds of sea life all around. There were tropical fish of all different colours, and various sea life that would sometimes swim up close to the glass. It felt as though you could almost touch them. The hotel we stayed at was very modern looking, with an easygoing atmosphere and everyone feeling very relaxed there. They had some very delicious food and drink that could be taken out by the pool so that anyone could simply lie in the sun whilst eating and drinking whatever they liked. I remember having some food whilst lying on a sun lounger by the pool, then falling in and out of sleep for about an hour and simply enjoying the atmosphere. Plenty of people were doing the same thing, then perhaps going for a swim to cool down, or maybe going to the bar to get a nice cold drink instead. On another day, a coach came to the hotel to pick us up, and about 30 other people as well. After a 30-minute ride on the coach, we then got onto a large boat, which was about a 10-minute ride to an uninhabited island. On the island itself, there were some amazing beaches and lots of boardwalks all over the place, which made it easier for everyone to get around the island when moving from one place to another. I don't know why, but it's always very enjoyable walking on a boardwalk. I don't know if it's because they're usually only found at beaches and other waterfronts, or that they're softer than concrete to walk on and firmer than sand, which makes walking around much easier. Or maybe it's something else that I haven't thought of just yet. I'm sure I can't be the only one that enjoys walking on a boardwalk. Anyway, on the island's beaches there were seals that could be seen, many of them lying in the sun, a few of them covering themselves with sand, and some penguins that were walking around and going for a swim. It was very enjoyable watching them waddling around, getting in and out of the water and swimming along the coastline. After some time on the island, they took us back to the mainland and then to a nice restaurant. Well, you know, you have to eat after half a day of walking to refuel yourself. Then back at the hotel, it was time to take a shower to cool down a little. That was very refreshing after being out in the sun for many hours. It was still early in the evening, so we went out for a while to enjoy the nightlife. It's nice to sometimes stop whatever you're doing, chat away with friends for a few hours, and just enjoy the rest of the night. The following day, we went to a park that many like to visit. The park itself is almost 2 miles long and has places where people can have a picnic or a barbecue or just rest in the sun and enjoy the outdoors. There are many different types of trees to see there and many other features that we came across as we walked through the park, such as the ponds where you could see various types of birds, and a botanical garden where we could walk around at our own leisure to see many different types of plants and water features. Later that day we went off to the shops to have a look around. The shopping mall had all kinds of retailers with all types of various items for sale. In places like this you could easily spend many hours looking at the things you might like to purchase. The clothes shops there are big stores with a wide variety to choose from. And of course you are on holiday, so maybe you should treat yourself to a few nice things as well. After all, perhaps you don't treat yourself enough on other occasions, so a little treat here and there is surely justified. We popped into a cafe for a little while to have a cup of coffee. It was nice to sit down after all that walking earlier on in the park and looking around all the many shops as well. The chairs in the cafe felt very comfortable, but of course after all that walking during the day I think any chair would have felt comfortable. Well, in any case, it was a well-deserved stop for half an hour or so. Once we'd finished our coffee, we headed back to the hotel. You know, I think it's always good staying in a hotel. You go out for the day, then when you come back to the hotel, your bed has been made with fresh sheets laid down, fresh new towels have been folded up and left in the bathroom, and the whole room has been cleaned and tidied, leaving you with none of those jobs to do and more free time for yourself. And then there's room service too, where you can order all kinds of tasty food and have it brought up to you whenever you feel like it. It's like having your own personal chef that will make you almost anything at almost any hour of the day. Just talk to reception, ask for what you like, and wait for it to arrive. No need to go food shopping or cook for yourself when you're staying in a nice hotel. In the evening we had a meal, then decided to just sit back and watch a movie. Sometimes when on holiday, you can feel as if you have to be seeing and doing as many things as possible whilst you're there, but it can also be good just to take it easy, get comfortable and watch a film for a couple of hours. After a good night's rest, we went to the beach where there was entertainment put on for all those that come by that day. There were dancers that were very entertaining to watch. Surfers out at sea, all of them trying to surf in a row, sometimes with great success, and other times not so much, but very entertaining either way. Kite surfing, which looked amazing, with all kites up in the air at the same time. Beach volleyball, but this time it was played by the pros, so it was actually very competitive and very good to watch. And there were various other games being played throughout the day. There always seemed to be something going on to watch at the beach, whether it was in the water or on the beach itself. You could always guarantee that something would be happening there. The last few days of the holiday were spent around the hotel with friends, just chatting by the pool or swimming in the pool whilst having a nice cold drink on those hot summer days. It's good to catch up with friends whilst you have the chance, especially in such a laid-back environment. And of course we had to try out the local food there and some of the restaurants that we hadn't been to yet. One restaurant was right on the beach and served some amazing food. This was a place that we found on the last day of the holiday, so we only went there once. I think we'll have to come back to this place again, as we didn't get to see everything in one visit, and it was a real treat to be in such a nice relaxed environment. Well, that was my holiday. I hope you enjoyed coming along with me, and I hope it made you feel as relaxed as I felt when I was there.